The views and thoughts expressed in this video belong solely to the speaker and do not represent the perspectives of the Jim and Pat YouTube channel. Let's come together to show empathy and support for all those who commit themselves to caring for others.
Hello, my name is Sue Fernley, and I just want to share my caregiving story. It seems like I've been on an adventurous roller coaster ride since 2019 when my daughter, who was 35 at the time, had stomach issues and got a colonoscopy, and we discovered that she had colon cancer and would need operation, chemotherapy, and a lot of caregiving. So she lives in California. At the time, I owned a campground. But before the campground closed, I flew out to California and started my caregiving with my daughter. From there, my son decided, he was 40, he was older, and decided to get a colonoscopy. Also, he was diagnosed with a large tumor in his rectum. So he has two children and a wife. So I flew after I left my daughter, flew to Rhode Island to be with him to caregive. And he also, his was a little bit more intense. He needed radiation, he needed a bag, he needed operation, he needed chemotherapy also. And it was a long process with him. And again, I was with him and his family for a good year. During that year, COVID hit. He had to go to Boston to have chemo. There was no one around to help. His wife went into a rehab at the time. So it was me caretaking the children and him. So that was the beginning. And then from there, my brother, who had heart problems, we owned a campground, as I said before, a family campground. I went to the campground with him, and he was in the last stages of his life. So I was with him when he died with hospice, and really the only family member with him. And so that was very long and a hard thing to go through. He died in September. 2 months after that, my mother had had dementia this whole time. My mother will be 87 in February now, and my father will be 89, or just turned 89 yesterday. So after my brother died, I found my mother in the driveway one morning in December, the beginning of December. She'd fallen. She's fallen several times, broke her arm, broke the humerus bone in her arm. And so that was the beginning of caretaking and living with her, sleeping with her for a while. Again, my father drank heavily and gave my mother, who has dementia, alcohol too. So the falls were many and many broken bones till finally she had terrible, terrific pain in her stomach, rushed her to the hospital, and she had pancreatitis from the alcohol. So that had to stop. And then right after my mother had broken the humerus bone in her arm, I get a call in the morning, and my husband, who'd been dizzy for a good month, calls me and says he can't get out of bed because he can't, he's had a stroke, is what we found out happening. So I'm still in this process of caregiving. It's one thing after another, family members. And this is my first visit to sharing with other people and listening to other people's stories at this conference. And it is the one thing that through all of this has given me hope that there are other people out there who can help me, encourage me, can listen to my story, but I can listen to their story, and that I'm not alone, because I have felt alone. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to come here today.
First image description: black words on yellow background. Share your story and find support. Second image description: green statewide caregivers conference logo on a red background with the words strength, nobility, and hope underneath. Third image description: black words on blue background. Join us for this year's Caregivers Conference, Wednesday, November 13th, 2024, Concord, New Hampshire. More information at coalitionofcaring.org.